What's up, beautiful people? My name is Tato. Welcome to my channel where it's all things conversation. And today we are going to do a show. We are going to do a review of a show. It aired sometime in May. But you know what? When it comes to relationship shows, and especially shows where you don't have to eliminate and you want to find out who the winner is, you can do them anytime because Mjolo will always be tricky. So I thought, let me just go ahead and review this show. The show is called Couples Retreat. And let's just get into it. Let us just go. So the show is about American couples, celebrities, entertainers that are just going to the show and they're like, you know what, we need a retreat. We need to figure things out. We are married, we're engaged, we're experiencing challenges, you know. So it is based on 6 couples. They go on a retreat and they have a relationship coach. The relationship coach's name is AJ. So they are on their 3rd season right now. So that's the season that we will be reviewing, right? So let's get into the introduction of the couples. The first couple is, obviously I spoke about the relationship coach, which is AJ, and the location, they went to Vegas, ne? For the retreat. All right, Shabu. Then the first couple is Shamari and Ronnie. Ne? Ronnie is from New Edition, and then Shamari is from an R&B group called Black. It's one of those groups, Zakdala, you know, I think it was around SWV times and Escape times, you know, so I think they met, they are together, I think they've been together for like 21 years or so, and then they've been married for over 16 years. And they've got twins, and they've had an open relationship, which did not work. So I think, they were, so they're returnees as well. So I think the previous season, they were there because of the whole open relationship situation. But now it seems like they are there because of miscommunication. So anyway, the open relationship, they closed it because it was like getting out of hand. You know, sometimes we try things, we're like, maybe that's what we need. But yeah, it almost took them out, you know, as a couple, as a married couple. And they're trying to navigate also Ronnie's touring. He goes on tours a lot, and Shamari is just left alone and just wants to do things as well because she now feels like, I'm just the mom, you know, so I need to get myself in check. So they're there for that, and maybe other things shall unravel, right? Then the second couple is Fallon and Jalen. How I know these two is through Real Housewives of Atlanta. I know Fallon from Real Housewives of Atlanta. If you are a trash TV junkie like I am, you probably know who Fallon is, and you probably know the whole Porsha and Simon situation. For those who don't know, let me quickly just, you know. So Jalen the guy, right, was previously Fallon's assistant. Actually, Simon, okay. Fallon, in Real Housewives of Atlanta, Fallon was married to Simon. Very rich fella, older than her, because I think Simon is in his 50s now. Older than her, and she's in her early 30s. So fine. They were introduced as that couple, rich and whatever, and they brought, they hosted a Halloween, I think, or costume design, because I remember they were in costumes where they were fighting. So Fallon and Simon, right, were introduced in Real Housewives of Atlanta. So around that time, Simon was working a lot, and then he had an assistant. That assistant is Jalen. So things happened. Maybe Simon was busy going, you know, to get the bag. And Fallon felt lonely and hooked up with Jalen. Something around those lines. But yeah, so that's the mess. But Simon is happily married now to Porsha, which is the ex-cast member, Fallon. And when Fallon invited them, Porsha was like, Are you sure you are showing me your nice, beautiful big house with your menu? And yeah, that's the situation. So Jalen is with Fallon, and they are engaged, and they have a baby girl. Ne? Sharp. Jalen is now I think a club host or club manager or something like that, and Fallon is Real Housewives of Atlanta, right? Then there's Breezy and Chris. Breezy I know from Empire, and she is an actress, and then Chris is a makeup artist. They are the only LGBTQ couple that is there, a lesbian couple. And yeah, they are engaged. They're engaged as well. And yeah, that's about it, because I don't know much when it comes to background about them. I just know Breezy from Empire. She's an actress and a rapper. And then there is Fat Boy and Tiana. Those two I don't know from anywhere, but Fat Boy is an entertainer, he is a rapper, and Tiana is an entrepreneur, and they have been married 4 years. So they also came to the retreat to figure out their situation, because I think there's just been cheating going on. And I think I also didn't mention the Fallon and Jalen. I think they're also trying to navigate their relationship, because they've got an age gap relationship. And Breezy and Chris, I'm not sure what they're there for, because they look like, you know, that couple that is just like breezing through. So I think we're just going to find out as the show goes on. I'm just introducing the actual couples and the first episode and what happened. I don't want to go above myself, you know. So yeah, so Fat Boy and Tiana, that is what I know about them. And then, I'm sorry, I'm just checking up my notes. And then there's Jock and Kendra. Jock and Kendra I know from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Jock is a rapper. And Kendra, I didn't know that she is a criminal law attorney, and she's also into real estate. She's a real estate broker. So I know them. I know, unfortunately, the messy side of their relationship. And yeah, they've also just been together for like eons. They've been together 4 years. And they've just had their ups and downs, and they're also obviously here to try and navigate that as well. Then there's Apollo. Get away from me, Apollo. Apollo and Shireen. Apollo, I also know from Real House of Atlanta. He is the ex Yaga Phaedra, Miss Southern Belle, Mix Fix It Jesus. If you don't know her, I don't know. I don't know. So, but Apollo is that, and he was in prison, I think, for like 5 years or so, but has been together with Shireen for 9 years. So obviously, Shireen is that ride or die girl, you know. And they're also, I think, trying to navigate their relationship and their marriage, because they're newlyweds. We'll get to that afterwards, but that is who they are. Shireen is also into real estate. I'm not sure if they work together with Apollo or what, but yeah, that is their story. They've been together 9 years. I don't think they have kids together. So yeah, the scene moves to the couples checking in and just having little chit chats, you know, while checking in, and they speak about obviously their issues, or they just you know, debrief of some sort. And Shamari speaks about she just couldn't wait, you know, to just be there and unwind and, you know, be away from the kids. Not that she doesn't love them, but you know, those situations where you're just like, I can't wait. I'm just here to just let loose, at the same time do what I need to do, you know. And then Fat Boy is, you know, they spoke a bit about his cheating, because he was saying that he wants to fix his ways, or he's here to fix his ways. But he's giving me, I'm not done. He's giving me, I'm not done cheating on you yet. I think you're going to get to a point where you compromise. And you know those women where it's like, I'm tired of your cheating, I'm tired of this. And then they end up not leaving their spouse, or they end up compromising to a point where they like, as long as you come back home, or as long as when you're on tour you can sleep with them because they are outside of where we live, or as long as they don't come home, or cut it to 2 women per night, you know, things like that. It's that relationship is giving me that, and it feels like Tiana still needs like assurance that this guy is not going to cheat, because she's constantly like, show them your ring, you know, like, we married, you know, like a ring. And there's little nuances that let me know that man, she's still, she knows that it's still gonna go down. So yeah, man, he's just giving me yeah, because he was even excited of being at Vegas, you know, he was excited, like rather too excited for me, because even Tiana was like, the only thing that you gonna open here is me. And he was like, yeah, sure. Like, no words, but his expression was, girl, we in Vegas, we gonna do what Vegas, you know, we gonna do Vegas-y things. So yeah, AJ wasted no time, gave them little tablets where they just watched her video.
Yes! Oh my God, I'm so excited that you're here, taking this journey with me. Couples retreat, it's gonna be amazing. So listen, I don't even want you to unpack. Just come with an open mind, open spirit, open soul, and let's just get this party cracking.
Oh my gosh.
I'm scared.
And just summoning them up so that they can get into it, to get into the business. Then they meet up at the lobby or some meeting place, just together, and just do, you know, get to know me's, because that was the first time they were actually meeting up, all of them, all 6 couples meeting up, so that they can move to where AJ wants them to go to. So they were obviously just, you know, having like little conversations, whomst are you and what's your story, things like that. And at the meetup, like, Fallon mentioned that, you know, she's concerned about the engagement, because also it's been tough because the guy, Jalen, is 9 years younger than her. And then Apollo was talking to the guys, because they were separated. It was the guys and the girls, and he was talking to the guys, and he just let them know that, you know what, I just got married like literally last week, you know, before I got to the show. So the other side, the lady Shireen was saying that, you know what, I ended up giving Apollo an ultimatum. I'm like, you know what, I'm closing shop. The cookie store is closed until you do the right thing. So he did the right thing, and he wanted the store to reopen. The couple then moved to the location where they had to meet AJ, and obviously they just started, you know, and AJ spoke to them regarding broken vows. So their first session was speaking about broken vows, and she just asked them to, for any couple to volunteer, you know, and come forward and speak about the broken vows that they've experienced in the relationship or marriage or whatever, you know. So the first to go up, to volunteer to go up, was Jock and Kendra. And Jock said that, you know what, I don't think Kendra broke any vows. I think I'm the one that just that broke the vows, you know. So basically, I don't have a problem with Kendra. Then it was Kendra's turn. Kendra mentioned that, you know what, Jock has a lack of accountability. Like, for him, it's like something has happened and then he's just going to move on. And I think because there was a situation where Jock had a baby outside, and obviously cheating and deception and all these things that has happened in love and hip hop, you know. And Kendra seems like someone that if things were done in secret and not out there, she was just going to move on with it. But I think she was hurt more because it happened in front of everyone, because she even mentioned that, you know what, people in China were watching you embarrassing me, you know, type of thing. So I just need for you to have my back, you know, and not just be like nonchalant about the depth of how you've hurt me. So And Jock is just like, okay, I what should I account for? You know, that's the energy he was giving, and that's literally what he was saying. And yeah, I think I feel Kendra in that aspect, you know, just being embarrassed and someone not showing any remorse. You know, it's like, okay, it happened, I'm sorry, let's move on. Like, no, let us not, because you've made me a Popeye, you know, un-Popeye me in the streets, you know, just to be a fool for me, just to show that you are actually sorry. I think that's what she wants, because she's not gonna obviously separate from him, you know. I think that's what she wants. Then it's Breezy and Chris. Breezy and Chris were like, nah, we're good, we're straight, we're happy. I just love her, I just love looking at her, and you know, so they really seem like the easygoing, and Breezy seems like she's got a good, excuse me if I mispronounce, but she's got a good head on her shoulders in terms of emotional intelligence. And then it was Apollo. Apollo had an expectation for Shireen, because he mentioned that, you know what, there were certain expectations that he had when he got out of prison. However, those expectations were not met. And AJ asked Shireen if she even knows about those expectations. And she's like, no, it's the first time I'm hearing about this, you know. So, broken vows that were not even communicated, like, come on. Fatboy and Tiana, it is, the broken vows are trust. Yo, I don't know how they're going to rebuild that, but yeah, it's possible, I guess. It is trust because they both cheated. The Fatboy cheated. She mentioned he cheated twice, or he cheated on both of her pregnancies. She was pregnant, and obviously Fatboy was just out here wilding, and that is just, for me, yeah. I don't know why men tend to do that while women are pregnant. There's some signs that we need to understand around that. But yeah, that's what happened. And then Tiana was like, I'm going to show you. I'm going to get my lick back. So she cheated as well. And then there is Fallon and Jalen. Fallon and Jalen, it is the lack of intimacy. Intimacy and affection. Because Fallon says that she feels like Jalen is still stuck in the BFF phase, because obviously they were best friends before. They were friends and traveling together with Simon, obviously, and Jalen was the assistant. So she says that she feels like Jalen is still stuck in the BFF ways, and then he doesn't know how to be affectionate. But AJ posed a question and said, so you saying you are not affectionate? Jalen was like, yeah. And he's like, okay. She's like, is everyone that you've dated, your exes, are they all going to vouch for what you are saying? And there was silence. So it's like, is it you not being affectionate, or is it more of you are not affectionate with Fallon? And what is the issue? Then with Ronnie and Shamari, it is communication. And yeah, I think it's communication mostly when it comes to those two. Communication and active listening, because they both feel like they're not heard and they just miss each other when it comes to communication. Yeah. After hearing all of them out, AJ gave each couple a homework. And yeah.
Your first homework assignment. I want you to come up with a new vow you're going to make to yourself, a new promise. And what we're going to end up doing by the time we get to the end of the 9 days is we're going to come up with a whole new agreement system, a new contract system for you, yourself, and your relationship. This exercise was just a warm-up. Later tonight, I've got something planned that's going to help us dig a little deeper.
Then after the break, Jalen was just expressing his stresses, you know, that he's going through a lot. I mean, he was just this young, fine boy, you know, just for the streets. I mean, I think he's in his early 20s, if I'm not mistaken. To now having to take care of 4 kids. I mean, all of those kids are Oh, three of them are obviously Fallon's kids from previous relationships, and then the one that they both have, you know. So I can imagine. I can only imagine. Let me put it like that. I mean, he's in his early 20s. He's now taking care of a household, and it's Fallon, it's the kids, and he's just now assuming these. He's actually stepping into these big shoes that he was not ready to fill, I think, you know. And he had that conversation with Fallon about, you know, not being ready in a way to actually get married, because I think he wants to rethink what he's going into, and he wants to be sure that he goes into it for the right reasons, you know. And he also mentions actually Fallon's situation where, you know what, she has not healed from the divorce, because obviously after the breakup it was just all systems go, you know. They decided to just be a couple. So he also pointed that out, that, you know what, we just love sick puppies that have issues going on, and we need to be realistic about that. And I really appreciate that from him. That is very grown up for him, and is very honest from him. And Mina, I would applaud him for that, rather than him actually stringing someone along, or actually not even being self-aware with regards to that. And then there's Kendra, who was just talking about he's just waiting for Jock's, I don't know, maturity bulb to just switch on, because she feels like Jock is just continuously doing things that are childish, because she constantly mentions also that this guy is like 42 years. Like, grandpa, like, can you not, you know? So I think looking at those dynamics, it's like, okay, clearly age is but a number. Yes, I know we cannot stretch certain, I mean, there are such certain age groups, you know, that are just like side-eye-ish when it comes to dating. However, this actually shows that this one is aware, and he does not want to string people along. But this one, who's 42, has been doing it for the longest time. So I'm speaking on that aspect, that you can date maybe someone that is younger than you, that actually can bring a certain perspective of growth in your relationship. It all I think depends on what you guys want as a couple. The next day comes, and AJ introduces another coach, which is Tony Gaskin.
So for this year's retreat, I decided to bring Tony Gaskins, the one, the only author, speaker, life coach. And I just felt like Tony could help with the marriage perspective, the male perspective.
To me, AJ is like my alter ego. I see us kind of like fire and ice, yin and yang, helping each other.
The men are going to benefit, the women are going to benefit, and I'm just honored that you said yes.
Thank you, AJ. Appreciate it.
Then Tony shows them the relationship components that he's brought along, and then he also, you know, put them on display. Thereafter, he actually shows that there are components that are blockages, you know, that block what you need to be going for when it comes to the healthy side of those components, you know. So obviously the blockages would be jealousy, the blockages would be certain insecurities. We all know, you know, those blockages. And yay, so there was this invisible wall that they put up where you put all of your blockages, and some people's walls were just so full, and it's like, why are you even in a relationship? Like, why are you not healing? Guys, sometimes I think it's good to just take a step back. I never used to believe in that, but I truly believe in it now as I grow up, that, you know what, you cannot just hop from one relationship to another, especially if you are someone that gives you all in a relationship. You need to do some inventory of some sort, you know. So and just unlearn certain things maybe that you learned through that relationship, through survival and all of those things. So people had walls, okay, they had blockages up their walls. So yeah, so they began with Shamari and Ronnie with regards to their blockers. And Shamari mentioned that Ronnie has a tendency of gaslighting her. You know, when she addresses or brings a problem to attention, then Ronnie would just downplay it or turn it around, obviously, and gaslight her and makes her feel like she's the one at fault, you know. And Ronnie mentioned that, you know what, I can actually agree to that, and I can actually say that there is an issue there where I need to work on, but you also have a problem with listening. You twist words around, and it was just this whole big thing. And you know, Ronnie, I admire that he does mention that he actually does have a problem. But I'm not sure how long that problem has been, or he has been aware of that problem, because it's one thing to say that I am aware of the problem, but why are you not fixing it, you know? So I'm not sure if it's the first time it was raised, but he did mention that, you know what, I am aware that I have those tendencies. But Shamari, are you aware that you also have problems? Can you admit at least to saying that you have problems? Shamari was like, I mean... where? I mean, that conversation just went left. It literally scared Jalen.
Comes to active listening.
Big left turn. I thought it was good. Apparently, the marriage ambassadors were arguing.
Are arguing. If they've been together since, I don't know, I was born, then, you know, hey, it's bound to happen in every relationship.
But it doesn't stop.
I think he's really not ready for marriage. He's constantly speaking about how people argue for the rest of their lives. Like, that is what happens in relationships. You're never going to get it right, like, all the time. So I think he's really scared of Shem. He's not ready. So anyway, Tony asked Ronnie if what Shamari is saying is true, and he can actually admit to saying that, yeah, actually everything that Shamari said is true about what he needs to work on, and he said yes. Shamari, same question. Shamari was like, no, I don't agree. So yeah, and Ronnie was just starting to get a little irritated and was asking Shamari, can you at least admit that there is something you are not doing right in this relationship? And yeah, that's where actually the first episode ended. And yeah, that's where the first episode, I mean, cliffhanger. Obviously, we have to watch the second episode. But my opinions on it, it's going to be very interesting. And I love the dynamics of the relationships. We can learn a thing or two. And I mean, I'm going to ask for all of us to actually comment down below and actually engage. And maybe if you know more about these couples, or maybe if there's something that I've missed that is actually of importance we can discuss, then please bring it forth. And for me, for now, my couple that is just like, for me, it is Breezy and Chris. But they're too quiet for me, feeling like maybe, just maybe, there is something underlying they are just not willing to just put out there. But as I mentioned, I feel like Breezy for me is like emotionally mature when I look at how she answers and how she, you know, deals with certain things, and just according to my observation. So that is it for episode 1. So I'm gonna watch episode 2, and then I will review it next week. So guys, thank you for watching, and please like, comment, subscribe. Stop it. Yekela nukipita. Stop ifat and set, guys. Just settle in. Hlala phansi. This is your home. Okay? You are welcome. You are loved. Okay? This is a safe space. So please click that subscribe button. Okay? Stop shaking up. Okay. Bye.